Greetings, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I hope you are doing great. Greetings from Colorado. I am on Mountain Standard Time, so hopefully this is 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I think it is. And so, welcome, everyone. It's great to see you. Welcome, Deborah. Welcome, Natasha. Welcome, Jen. And I am super, super excited to have a special guest reader on tonight. It's so lovely having guest readers because that just makes it so much fun and interactive. And I love everyone's comments. Thank you, Jen. Girl, this is some good light here in Colorado. Okay. Let me tell you. Hey, Tashi, you made it. I'm so happy. That's exciting. Awesome. So, if you didn't know, we are reading the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, and I will drop the link in the chat if anyone doesn't have the book already. And so let me welcome in my guest speaker today, Mrs. Virginia Rutherford Hall. She's actually one of my business partners. And what I love, I just love Virginia. She is amazing. She actually has a podcast called Wings of Wisdom. And so it's on Facebook, it's also on YouTube and many other places. Actually, she broadcasts globally, and she features different experts. So I've been on her podcast twice, and then we started working together, and I just love her spirit. She's just amazing. Who's in your house, Jen? I want to know. So yes, it's so good to see all of my FFS sisters in the house. I appreciate y'all love and support. And we got quite a few new people on here today. So for Virginia's gonna use her amazing voice today because Virginia has this soft, sultry voice that she could be a jazz singer. So you won't get to see her beautiful face unless things work out, but you will hear her beautiful voice. Oh, she's in your StreamYard house. I love that. I love that. So, Virginia, you want to say anything before we kick everything off?
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to be on Mia's platform tonight. I'm usually featuring the experts because I am the liaison queen, Virginia Rutherford Hall. I connect experts to those individuals who need their expertise the most. And everybody knows that Mia is the expert in the financial industry. So she is one of the experts that I love having on so that everyone who's listening and viewing her can get the wealth of knowledge. So we're here to follow up on the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And we've been diving deep. We're on chapter 3. We're actually on page 63, but I want to back up to 62 and just start out with the skills that a sturdy child must learn in relationship management. And that sturdy is systems, technologies, entrepreneurship, relationship, and delegation. And the why is for you. So we have to have sturdy children. And it says knowing who to have a relationship with and knowing how to build relationships with the right people, and also knowing how to maintain and feed those relationships in a healthy way is key. Also, knowing how to repair those relationships when they are damaged and knowing when to cut ties to a hold on, my eyes is out on me. Knowing when to cut ties in a manner that is respectful and I'm having a problem seeing that. Hold on, my dear. Your lighting is good, but mine's is not. Hold on one second.
No problem. No problem. This is that good, mountain light. I'm like, ooh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, respectful and non destructive. Most people I know who are extremely wealthy have mastered these skills in a powerful way. They can speak to anyone and make that person feel heard and important. They avoid those who are too volatile to build with and embrace those who are consistent. Additionally, those who understand relationships tend to be great teachers and students. are great leaders and followers and make others better for being around them. They possess the humility to apologize for their wrongdoings. They are dependable and come through for others as much as they expect others to come through for them. These are skills that they can be taught and must be taught to our children if we expect them to build things together. One day, when you watch a movie or TV show, watch the closing credits. Notice the dozens, sometimes hundreds of people that come together for the sole objective of creating this massive project. These people had to become part of a team with a code of conduct, a process for resolving disputes, clear roles and responsibilities, and a joint objective. They couldn't simply be a group of crazies, traumatized lunatics attacking each other at every turn. Some of us have to deal with major emotional problems within our families. If you are one of those people, you have you have my sympathy. But I also recommend that you work with the relatives who are ready to move forward and also consciously add positive individuals to your circle that you can build with. This is one of the keys to success in business and in life.
Awesome. Let's pause here for a second because this as Dr. Boyce in every section has a lot of great words of wisdom and insight. And um, I was actually vacation. I went to go see my cousin before I came here, and we were talking about getting some more vacation property, and it really does make a difference who in your family has the right mind to actually be a positive influence in your circle and really understand the importance of building. Um, because every relative, doesn't necessarily think like that. And it was just so refreshing to be able to have that conversation, looking at real estate, dreaming together. Because that's the other thing, too, is not just, thinking about your money just for survival, but like, how can we dream? How can we build this empire together? Because, we want to go faster, we want to go together. So I think relationships is crucial. And especially if you can do it with a family member who you trust. Um, and who has the same type of vision and same type of monetary acumen or financial acumen, that was the best. Hey, Doriel. Oh, thanks, Natasha. Yes, this is my vacation vibes, girl. That's got this good sun over here. Awesome. Anything you want to add to that, Miss Virginia?
Yes, those relationships, when you combine each other together, you have to have that same mindset. And then you have that strategy that you can focus in on and then have that execution plan. That's the key. But it's first the mindset, the meeting of the minds is
Yeah.
masterful. And a lot of times that's where we can't actually collaborate because we don't have the meeting of the mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mindset is crucial. That's step one right there. Welcome in, everyone. If you're just joining us, let us know where you're joining from. If this is your first time, I'm also going to put the link in the chat for the book if you don't have it, because I know we have new people attending every week. So, so Miss Virginia is reading for us now. And if you're just joining, we are on page 64 where it says delegate, the D in the word sturdy. So I'll let you continue reading, Miss Virginia.
Okay, delegate. I used to think that it was important to be a hard worker. Laziness was kind of like a sin, something that would lead to poor outcomes. I first learned the value of hard work from my parents, who would make me clean the house every day before I was allowed to go outside. I also learned hard work from watching my parents get up and go to work every day. The slogan in our house, like many others, was if you don't work, you don't eat. My work ethic served me well when I got my first job at the age of 12, selling candy door to door. I would hop in a van being driven by some white lady who looked who took us to a strange neighborhood, gave us a route, and would have us selling overpriced candy by using a script to convince the customer to buy. At first, I couldn't sell a thing, but after some practice and working on the script, I became the best salesperson on the team. I would come home with nearly $20 on school nights and as much as $75 to $80 on weekends when we would sell for 12 hours a day. It was hard work, but I loved it. I also learned early that there was a connection between the number of hours I worked and how much money I made. This relationship continued when I got my first fast food job at a place called the Hungry Pelican. I bussed tables and found myself bringing home a steady income even at the age of 14. This work ethic stayed with me in sports, college, and even adulthood. Hard work got me to my PhD, which required 7 to 10 hours a day of consistent study over several years. It was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done. But it was after all these years of hard work and deep study of America's economic system that I learned that hard work wasn't the key to success. I summed up my epiphany by repeating the words of a billionaire I saw on TV. I don't remember the wealthy man's name, but he had a lot of money. The previous year he earned well over 100 billion. The rich man basically stated that being rich isn't about what you do, it's about what you get other people to do. Delegate. While it might sound manipulative to consider the ideal that others are doing the work while you receive the benefits, this happens everywhere in America. The workers do all the labor, and the shareholders get the wealth.
I love it. So I just want to go back for a second to the part about selling the candy. So this is a story for me because I had my first business in seventh grade. So anybody out here know Oriental trading? Anybody remember that? Like back in the day, I would, for each holiday, I would order stuff on Oriental Trading. Well, I'd ask my mama to order it for me. And I would put together these really dope baskets. Like I would do like a Valentine's basket or whatever have you. Thank you, Tashi. Thank you, Jen. Yes. And then I would put candy in it. And I would have a party. I like made up my own fake Avon. Okay. Because my mom, I also sold Avon with my mother. And I would make these baskets, and I have people come over, and I had different kind of baskets. And the bigger the basket, the more it cost. And that is how I learned how to sell. And I would have parties, and I didn't even know anything about like party business models, but I knew that I wanted to make money because I always see my dad walking around with money, and I'm like, well, how do I get my own money? And so I don't know, I just had this random idea to put together cute things based on the holiday, and my friends would come over and I would sell out every holiday. So I was like, okay, this is fun. Then I took it to school, y'all, and I got suspended. So the first time my dad was like, well, good job. He was like, because my dad raised me to be an entrepreneur. But and then I didn't stop though, y'all, because, I was like, once you get a taste of having that money, as you can see Dr. Boy says here, it's kind of like, well, I kind of like this. Let me, keep up this. Is that like, oh, that's you, Leilani? I didn't even know that was you. Oh, that's so awesome. Um, Leilani, this is your chapter right here, Leilani. So basically, yeah, I got suspended. I got suspended twice. So then my dad was like, okay, you gotta stop now. Because at first he congratulated me on running a successful business at school. But then he was like, okay, you can't be getting in trouble behind it. But it's so interesting that, I'm selling candy at school, nobody's getting hurt or anything like that. And it's really interesting how our systems are set up to discourage you from doing something like that, which to me, knowing how to sell, whether it's a product or a service, is a valuable skill, which Dr. Boyce has been saying all along. Um, you know, for us to teach our children how to own businesses before the age of 12, I think, or somebody told me 8, whatever number it is, basically, before they become teenagers. But it's interesting, exactly, Natasha hating on my hustle. I was making good money as a young person, and so I think that this is so important. I know we're talking about delegation, but I really like how he talked about understanding how to sell, because if you can sell, then you can actually provide a solution to somebody's problem, because that's what we're doing when we're selling. We're actually providing a person who purchases from us a solution to whatever it is they have. Um, but anyway, Virginia, do you want to add anything? I know I just been talking and sharing my good memories of my first business, but anything you want to share about delegation?
Yes, it resonates with me as well. But I noticed that you and Dr. Boyce have something in common. Both of you started extremely young selling, and both of you are entrepreneurs now. So it's amazing that once you develop those skills in your youth, they're transferable, and then you learn how to build that wealth, and it's admirable. So congratulations, my dear. I'm glad
Oh,
to be here with you.
thank you, love. And you are quite remarkable yourself, which is why I was so attached to you when I first met you. So, the other thing I do want to point out in this area, because we're talking about delegate, and Leilani, if you want to add anything too, because we've been reading through this chapter on rites of passage, and I know you're very passionate about that. So if you want to add anything to Black wealth training in terms of rites of passage, but it's so funny. In my sorority, I was a committee chair, and then I have my business and I have team members. And it's funny, in both situations, I've had multiple people tell me that I was like the queen of delegation. And he says here, he says it's not, it's about. He said the rich man basically stated that being rich isn't about what you do; it's about what you get other people to do. And one thing that's important to me is that as I work with young people, especially like my nephew, how can I get him to understand the importance of living out this 30 model as a kid? He's 8, right? And so if I can get him to begin to think like this now, to me, that's one of the most important things in his rites of passage as a young man coming up in this world. How can I start getting him to think like a business owner, like an investor, not, just thinking about consuming, consuming, consuming. So that's really, really important to me. Yes, this is it, Jen, right here. Teaching them how to run a business along with delayed gratification, right? Because he's always like, TT, did you give me a toy? TT, did you give me a toy? And I know if I told him, no, I got you a share of stock, he would be disappointed. So I really want to work on that mindset with him. So we're going to keep on going on page 66. So if you're just joining us, or if you want to add anything to the discussion, please let us know in the chat. So page 66, so the tenant goes to work so he can give his paycheck to the landlord, and the landlord gets both the income from the property and all the capital gains related to ownership. This is the way capitalism generally works in America. A less exploitive way to look at the relationship, however, is that there are people out there who enjoy the idea of having a job without being the owner of the business. They don't want all the stresses and hassles of paying high levels of expenses, dealing with employee issues, or having to determine the general direction of the business. Some people just want to do the job, get paid, and go home. This is where delegation comes into play. Most Black entrepreneurs I know work themselves into the ground. They try to do every single job well, take advantage of every opportunity, and complete every task without a single ounce of delegation. Eventually, the business owner is drained, unhealthy, and burned out from having to work so hard to keep the business going. Definitely been there. Anybody else been there too? Miss Virginia, have you ever had that happen in your business?
Absolutely. You try to do everything. And when you need to collaborate and work with those individuals who, in their area of expertise, that is their strength. So then you learn how to delegate and give those specific tasks to those individuals who know how to complete the task to perfection. And then it runs smoothly.
Exactly, because actually, that is what do I want to say? I don't want to be offensive, but what I found in my business is a smarter way is to delegate, because for like I am not what you would call a creative, right? I'm creative in certain ways, but that's not like how you would categorize me. And, you know, everyone is familiar with Canva, I'm sure. So I'm in Canva trying to make a flyer. It takes me like 3 million years to do it because it's just not my thing. But my operations manager, on the other hand, she goes in and then she has a billion beautiful designs in 30 minutes. And so for me, it's actually smarter. I'm working smarter by hiring someone who enjoys it. First of all, that's their zone of genius. And that way I can focus. I'm paying her for 30 minutes versus wasting 3 hours of my time for something I'm not good at. And I know that our businesses are our babies, right? But we have to think about return on investment. And if your time, because you think about it like this, like I used to have a housekeeper. Yes, Natasha, that is not my zone of genius doing any type of creative things. No, thank God for AI. Okay, and my operations manager, they save lives. So, I'm really big on zone of genius because think about it. If I can earn $200 an hour, should I really be doing something that I could pay somebody else $15 to do in an hour? I don't think so. I think I should be doing something that's going to earn me my 200 an hour. So I think about it like that when I think about delegation. I'm paying this person 15 for an hour, but I'm over here making 200. So at the end of the day, I still net 185. And so that's how,
Absolutely.
right? Exactly. So, hi Angelique. Yay, welcome. Excellent. No worries. We are glad you found the chat. We are here every week. And if I'm not here because I'm somewhere in the world, then one of my amazing sisters will be here to greet you. Like Chelsea did an amazing job last week. So if y'all didn't get to watch Chelsea, definitely watch the replay on the YouTube channel. And if you missed it, I'm gonna repost this. So this is the link to the book. I'll also post it here again. You have to kind of like copy paste it. But if you don't have the book yet, you can go ahead and grab it from the Black Financial Literacy Store. And we will make sure that we read it to you. But of course, you can get your own copy too, so you can catch up. We're just going to finish up chapter 3 today. It was quite a long chapter, but a great chapter on the commandment is Black wealth should be a rite of passage. Black wealth training must be a rite of passage. So if you have young people in your life, and they don't have to be super young, but they might be even young adults. Some of you have young adult children. How can we empower them? And maybe sometimes they don't listen to us, right? Because we're a little too close for comfort. But how can we here in this community talk to them and help them to understand why financial literacy is super important, especially right now? So definitely that's something that we want to think about. So let's finish up. So page 66, bottom paragraph. As a result of this burnout, many Black-owned businesses die because the children watch their parents work themselves like crazy without having any kind of system that allows them to delegate tasks to others. Not only does this approach lead to massive burnout, been there, done that, but it also leads to inefficiencies due to a lack of specialization. I'm telling y'all, me on Canva for 3 hours, not a good use of time. There's no healthy major corporation on earth where the same person is doing the accounting. Yep, hire me a bookkeeper too. Marketing, definitely not doing that. And secretarial work and serving as the CEO. So remember, I would always say if you are a business owner, think about how you can move into actually being the CEO. At first, you might have to do all the things. I know I've definitely had to do that. But how can you have more CEO days where you're working on your business and not just in your business? Because that is how you're going to help take your business to the next level, sustainability, scalability, things of that nature. Specialization and delegation are keys to building strong and effective organizations. So, anything you want to add, Miss Virginia, as we wrap up chapter 3?
Wow, I love that specialization and delegations are the keys to building strong and effective organization, just like collaboration and affiliations is the keys to acceleration. So,
Ooh, say that again. Collaboration and what?
and affiliations. So those are
Mm.
those divine relationships that you must have, and you must have good collaborations to come together. And like you said, how you scale, that's how you accelerate as well.
Yes, because like a couple of things Katrina says, if you want to go faster, hire a master.
Absolutely.
And the African proverb that I quote all the time, if you want to go farther, go together.
Yes, yes. And
And
those are keys. You have to have that specialized um, intellect in a specific area. And then you have to really learn how to delegate those individuals who have proven themselves. They have a track record. So you delegate to those individuals because you know that they will get the job done. So yep, collaboration is key, affiliation is key, acceleration, specialization, and delegation. All these TION words I love.
I love it. I'm actually trying to type this down. So, specialization and delegation are keys to building. What else does it say? Let's see here. Keys to building strong and effective organizations. So, in the chat, if you do have a business, can you drop your website or how we can find you? Because this is the thing. My goal is for all of us to be able to support more Black owned businesses. So, for example, Jen has Black on the platform. She actually has a whole platform to highlight people's businesses. Um, so we can find one another and support one another. So, if you do have a business and you want to be found, drop your link in the chat. It's okay. Like I know sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know, should I share? I've been in communities where they don't let other businesses share. This is not that space. This is a safe space for women to come talk about finance, and it's a safe space because historically, at least in my community or people that I was around, people didn't talk about finances. But if you begin to move into wealthier circles, actually finances talked about quite frequently. So, what's the next move? What's the best deal? And everyone is not going to be involved in everything, but my hope is that women will be confident in having these conversations in various circles, right? I'm even learning new things like with crypto, for example. That's something newer that I'm learning through Natasha, for example, and reading up on my own and through another good friend of mine. So I want this to be a space where we are no longer anxious and feeling overwhelmed when we start seeing numbers and things like that, because numbers are our friends. Like, because to me, from a heart space, this is a space about, listening to our hearts. A lot of the things our hearts desires, like for me, I want to be a philanthropist and create scholarships. It takes money to do that. Like I can't, it just does. And so when our money has a mission, then we're able to actually live out our heart's desires. So, yes, that's right, Natasha. Financial conversations are becoming our normal conversations, and that's what this platform is about. So, anybody have anything else they want to add? Lala, I love that. I love saying, I love that name, Lala. Do you want to add anything about the rites of passage piece and how we may be able to, or anyone, how we may be able to incorporate rites of passage either with young people or even for those of us who just had an awakening to finances? It's like, you know what, hey, I want to do something different. I no longer want to stay in this place. Anybody have anything else they want to add as we wrap up chapter 3? It was a long one, but a good one. Yes, Tashi, yes, our money has to have a mission, right? Like I want to create scholarships for mothers who so they can have a self-care day, because I know my mother, and my friends who are mothers don't necessarily have like the time or the money or the babysitter. And I want that to not be the case any longer. I want them to have money for the babysitter, money for the spa. They can go away and they don't have to worry about all those things, right? Everybody's fed, everybody's safe, everybody's having a good time. Yes, yes, Jen. Okay, we're gonna put you in a drawing for one of my scholarships. I just gotta raise those funds. Well, next week Jen is gonna be our special reader. And Miss Virginia, is there anything else you want to say and let people know how to find you on Wings of Wisdom before we wrap up for tonight?
Yeah, I'm just so happy to be here. Glad you asked me to come. We deal sometimes with technical difficulties, so I just want to just apologize just a tad bit that you can't see my face, but I'm glad to be here. And the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, if you don't have your own personal copy, you want to lean in and get it and dive into this book. It's amazing. So I'm grateful to have it. And me, I'm grateful to share the platform with you once again with your audience.
My pleasure. Well, thank you, Miss Virginia. Not only does she have a beautiful voice, she also has a beautiful face, and hopefully, you will be able to see her on Wings of Wisdom. She has wonderful guests on her platform. You learn all sorts of things. I mean, you name it, she has an expert on. And definitely check out her page on Facebook, her YouTube channel, which is called Wings of Wisdom. Next week, we're going to be on chapter 4. So that is on page 68. It's called Commandment 4, Create Fertile Economic Soil for Your Family. So a lot of us are creating a fertile economic soil. And just to wrap up here, I would encourage us to take one action and think about how can we implement commandment number 3? What is one takeaway? How can we create some type of Black wealth training, whether it's for ourselves, for the young people in our lives, or our families? And so, with that being said, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. It's always an honor and a privilege to have you here, especially in the chat. And my reader, thank you so much, Miss Virginia. And Jen and I look forward to seeing you all next week. So have a blessed night. I'm going to get in the jacuzzi, and I will see y'all next week. All righty.
Have a great night.
Awesome. Great. Good night. Oh, Jen, that's awesome. I love it. Black wealth training. Yes, Dorielle. Love it, love it, love it. Jen is having another family meeting. Anybody else have their takeaway they want to share before we jump off? Thanks for coming, Tashi, and welcome to all of our new folks. Thank y'all for coming in. We do 30 minutes, and some of us go to another book club after this. I'm not sure if it's still happening because I haven't checked, but yes, have a blessed night, and we look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week with Jen on chapter 4. God bless you, everyone. Bye bye.